Hey guys, how's it going? So I'm freaking pumped. Went out today to Seymour, Indiana for the very first ever Tarantula Fest. Holy crap. It was not a big event by any means. 2 vendors basically, kind of sketchy in a basement of a complex. They're going to try to see if it's bigger by the next expo, which I do believe is going to be some point in the middle or the end of this year. And then from there, they're going to have one on right after New Year's. So that's awesome, of next 2022. But first off, it is done by Scarlet's Primitive Pets. They're the ones who arranged to set it up, along with Blade's Tarantulas. Now, both these guys, I've done business with them in the past. I've bought hundreds of dollars worth of stuff off them over the last like 3-4 years that I've been doing the expos and things like that. I even bought my first green bottle blue from them. I bought some of my Balfouries from Blade's Tarantulas, and I have bought curly hairs. I bought my first curly hair from them too. But anyway, we went today. We got in there a little late. We were actually the first people in the door. No one else was there. Everybody else that was there, they were employees basically. They thought it was going to be a much larger event, and it pretty well got kind of packed in this tiny ass room. I'd say the whole thing was probably about the size of my basement, or a little bit smaller. I think a little bit smaller, honestly. And so I'd say my room is about what half the size of the expo itself was. And then they had like a wall here. As soon as you walked in on the right, there was a tub system with geckos, crested geckos, and things like that. The next tub had Pac-Man frogs and various toads. You walked over, they had some tanks for sale. They had some sort of toad. They had firebelly toads. The next tank was I want to say a big 80 or 90 gallon, maybe 100 gallon aquarium that had an American alligator inside of it. Then they had leucistic and albino axolotls. They had some sort of salamanders, river salamanders, great big river salamanders. This wall right here kind of had some miscellaneous, and then it was when you walked into your left, that's where all the tarantula stuff were. But anyway, with that being said, guys, I did talk to these guys quite a bit, and thankfully I actually got some contact information from them, because I told them that I've had several of my tarantulas that I've picked up from them over the years actually mature out into mature males. I had a male green bottle blue for a long time, but I've bought many insects over the years from these guys. But today we only picked up 3 things. 1 amphibian and 2 invertebrates, and 1 I'm super stoked about. And I'm about to set the tank up for it. It's going to be a massive tank. It's one of these guys right here, and it's not this one, but it's the one that sits right here. So I'm going to drill a hole in the back, cut out the square for the light fixture to go through, and then if I can find my silicone, I'm going to silicone it. I don't think I'm going to have to, because this spider is really freaking big, and the piece that I'm trying to cut in is only like that big, so I don't have to worry about it as long as I get an exact measurement, which will be easy because one side plugs into it, and you just trace around it and cut it out. Thankfully, I have some very, very sharp knives. Anyway, let's turn the cameras around and let's get to it. Alright, so before we dive into anything big or crazy, I got some feeders. $3 for 25 superworms. That's pretty much what you spend at the store. There is a dead one in here that's been eaten alive. Here's another chunk of one. These are probably the same pieces of the one. That is a shed right there. And these guys are fairly decent size. My bearded dragons are going to love these guys. I don't really think there's 25 of them in here. It doesn't feel like it, but I could be wrong. I do want to be careful, though, because sometimes with these guys, there is some sort of, like, mite that lives in the substrate. I used to get it all the time from my bait shop. And you would see them crawling all over the glass. They were by the millions. And it was usually if we had a colony go for a couple of months. And, like, you would put your hand in there, and they were mites. You could feel them crawling all over you. It was disgusting. Next, we have some complimentary, because of a purchase that I made of red Runner Roaches. I was going to the expo mainly for red runners and dubias. Now I have red runners and dubias. I'm going to let these guys mature. I'm not going to use them as feeders. I only have, I want to say, what is it? 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 maybe. There might be a little over a dozen in here. So yeah. These guys are complimentary because of a purchase that I bought and being the first customer in there. Now we're going to get on to the first little invertebrate, and it is a scorpion. It is a baby Dune scorpion. Now this is the red runner from that container. Yeah. Now I've had these guys before, and I absolutely absolutely love these guys. Now I'm not sure what the venom level on these guys is like, and here I am poking it, but it seems pretty chill. Like it. Oh, ah, there we go. He's lively now. Whoo. But I'll tell you what, one thing, that with my Dune scorpions, I'm not sure if they're really Dune scorpions, because mine didn't have a tail like that. That tail is just freaking, I mean, just look at the length of that tail. Clearly not going to eat that guy. But I mean, that tail's got, what, 6 parts? Yeah, 5. Not including the stinger part. Alright, well, we're going to go ahead and set him aside. I'm going to leave him in this for a little bit until I get him a small little tub set up. I'm about to go buy one because he wasn't really a plan. He was a quick $20 purchase. Anyway, he'll be fine in there for a while. The next thing is not a reptile whatsoever, nor is it an invertebrate, but it is very close. It is an amphibian, and it is a strawberry Pac-Man frog. Now, I thought it was a 4-spotted Pac-Man frog, and it kind of looks like it is 4-spotted, the 4 on top here, but don't quote me on it. This guy is a looker. Now, this is my girl's first Pac-Man frog, and what I'm actually going to do is set this on top of him as like a little hat. I should have bought some of this. They had the moss right here for $12, but I do have some dried moss here that I have had dried for, I want to say, about 4 months now. It is field collected, but that's fine. I'm clearing the dirt off right now. Nothing should be alive in here. 4 months of pure dehydration. Nothing should have survived. I almost wonder if he'll eat those, so I'm going to take the dubia, the red runner from the scorpion tank, and throw it in here for a second. The guy told me to guide it to him. I've had Pac-Man frogs before, and I've just usually held the food in front of them. They're usually pretty quick to eat it, but this guy might just be too stressed out to eat anything. We'll find out. These guys are usually little hogs. They usually don't care. Nope, he ain't interested. Alright. Back you go, because he'll be the first to actually get rehoused. Not the first one as of right now, because the first one's going to get rehoused is the monster that I picked up. And it is a tarantula. It is the world's largest tarantula. It is a Goliath bird eater. Now, I'd say this one is probably sitting at over 7.5, 8 inches long. Absolute freaking tank. Definitely could leave it in here for a couple of days, but that's not the plan. The plan is to take this big monster and move it into here. Now, this was actually and was just recently used as a feeder tank for my garter snake, so you can see what the worms left behind and what they drug, and you see where they streaked them all over the glass. So I'm gonna have to clean it before I do it. By the way, that's not glass, that's acrylic. So the plan is fill it all the way up to substrate as deep as I can, which sadly is not very deep. That's probably 2 inches of substrate. And then I'm going to have, I got to figure out the full setup that I want at this point, because I want this to look nice, aesthetic, and pleasing. So I've got to figure out how I'm going to do it, but the best way to do that is to get the substrate inside and then see what little items I have to fiddle with. I do not think I have any monster hides that I'm aware of, because I want this to be a naturalistic enclosure. I'm going to have moss in there and everything. And I think with Goliath bird eaters, you should keep it moist. They're a tropical spider. They're from the Amazon, I think, if I'm not mistaken. If they are, I'll put a screenshot here, because I will research this before I start working on this tank fully. So yeah, I'm pumped. I'm completely pumped. I'm excited about the Goliath more than I am anything else. And I think what I'm going to end up doing is taking this container and putting the Pac-Man frog inside of here, but this might be too much room. I don't know. I've never had a Pac-Man frog that small before. The biggest one I had, the smallest one I had was like this big when I got it. That one's like this. So he's a quarter smaller than what I had last time. So I'm kind of confused on how I'm going to do this. I could go out and get a small tub system, which I might end up doing, and then keep it moist, keep moss in there with a little water dish in there for him to climb into if he really wants it, and then keep him up here on top of Athena until I get her cage rebuilt and finished. So, we're not going to do the actual build in this video, so stay tuned for part 2 once I start doing that. But I've got some Eco Earth here, along with some Cocoa Husk. So, I mean, it's going to be cool. They got a tortoise, blue-tongued skink, and a ball python on that, and then this right here, they've got a day gecko and a panther chameleon and a red-eyed tree frog. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, with all this being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's little snippet of a video here. I wanted to get something out for you guys, because I know you guys are starting to grow on this channel. I know there's a lot more of you than I'm used to. So I definitely want to get content pushed out, and I definitely want it to be good content, not just poop content like I used to have. So with that being said, guys, it's poop content because the lights are off. It's getting about nighttime for everybody anyway. And oh yeah, just for a quick thing, we have quails. They were food, and Diablo ate 3 of them, plus a large rat. Athena and Atlas ate 1, and then Masundri didn't eat any because I was going to feed her too. And yeah, so one of them was going to basically be a pet or a later feeder, but she didn't want any, and Atlas had enough, and Athena and Masundri had enough too. So yeah, and Aphrodite's over here in the corner, and she's not big enough to eat one. So maybe if I got some juveniles, definitely. But as of right now, nope. So let me get a thumbnail. We'll see you guys next time. Alright guys, and with that being said, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for part 2, which will be coming right after this video. I'd say probably within, I want to say 6 hours. Don't quote me. Might be the next day. It might be on the 7th. But this video is definitely happening soon because I've already made the video because it's already the 6th and this happened on the 3rd. And with work, I'm just now getting to editing the first video. So stay tuned for a second and I'll see you guys next time. Later.